Wilks works for you, not them. And I know I'm going to catch heat. Guess what? It's a cold world. Bring the heat. I know people are going to say, you sound like a conservative. I am conservative because when you conserve, you save. All right. I'm also democratic. Why can't I just be a man who wants to uplift his community and uplift his people and uplift this country? Because you can't make America great again without all Americans involved. All right. So we need to stop this gang shit, pardon my language, because that's how they act. If you see these characters in Congress now, like Bo Beer, she shouldn't even be a congressperson. They got these little Sarah Palins in Congress now, Marjorie Greene. We can go on and on. But look what the Democrats are doing. They're doing the same thing by propping up and putting our Black women prosecutors on the line to face these, what they call racist white men. If you look across the country, most of the prosecutions that are taking place are being taken place with Black women prosecutors in order to prop up Kamala Harris. This is not no bullshit. And what they're doing is not only shameful, people see it for what it is. They need to stop. But we're not stupid. We see it for what it is. You're propping all these people up. I could be a part of your party and not have to dance to all the music. What America is. Things have gotten so extreme that a candidate like myself is not only a necessary, it is a must right now because we can't afford one more year of this nonsense. Nothing is getting done. And while we keep asking for things, you keep sending money to people in countries that call us nigger.
I don't understand that. And knowing how our economy is already built, the dollar is losing, I mean, we basically, our money ain't gonna be worth nothing here soon. And then you got all
No,
these homeless people.
never, 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 never. This country will always be an economic power for the mere fact of the Second Amendment. And I'll explain it. No country on this planet has an army that is willing to go against the military, the police, National Guard, and every homie with a gun. Not to mention the hunters and the weekend people that got guns. And grandma. The Second Amendment has kept this country uninvadable. And in doing so, because this country cannot be invaded except through the border, an armed invasion of this country is not feasible. Why? Because there's guns everywhere. You don't know who's going to have one as an enemy trying to invade. The government keeps a record and a public record of how many tanks, planes, AR-15s, and everything that the military has. They don't have a record of how many homies in the hood got a Glock. Or they have a record of how many people have guns legally, but you will not invade a country where even the criminals have military weapons. Yeah. And that in itself has kept this country not only uninvadable, it has kept consumer confidence up. Because if I was a third world country government that needed a safe place to put my money, I'm putting it where nobody can steal it. And if you notice right now, all over the world, bigger countries are invading smaller countries. So we have to keep in mind, and even on that note, dealing with the Second Amendment, that makes this country not only a powerful country, an uninvadable country. You would think the NRA would have come to the hood to educate young Black males and just the entire community. But I'm going to speak on young Black males because by and large, they are the number one demographic that gets arrested for illegal gun possession. Usually it's after the age of 18. Let me tell you something. If the NRA was smart, they would be courting these individuals and these groups and these cities that lets me know that they are either a racist organization or they're a not informed organization, because you discount an entire demographic that seems to love guns. Not
It's
only
A
do
and
they
B.
love guns, they make music about the guns. They make videos about the guns. The only race holds the gun in the same aspect as they hold their cross on their little chain.
It's A and
You
B.
discounted the whole demographic that could have been legal gun owners, informed gun owners. Why not come to our neighborhood and teach us about gun safety like you do in the rural neighborhoods, like you do in these high schools, in your rural communities? You can have somebody, they don't have to be African American, they don't have to be Hispanic. They just have to have a human heart to say, I see what's going on, and it's only going on because of the ignorance of these people not being informed about their Second Amendment rights. I told the constituent the other day, he was a Caucasian. I said to him, and he asked me about my stance on gun control. I said, I have no stance. My criminal record is replete with gun possession. I believe in being armed because the founding fathers said so. However, you were born with gun rights. In the African American and Latino community, you have to earn them.
Mm-hmm.
Not only earn them, sometimes you have to sell out your own people to get them.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're taken away
you won't be getting them in the neighborhood you live in. You got to move to get them.
Mm-hmm. And then a lot of times they're taken away very quick because you go to jail, you go to prison, and it's a felony, so it's gone right then and there in a snap.
Or you get involved in something that is culturally us, no matter what it is. Because there's some things that we do culturally that are frowned upon, you know? And it's a shame, but at the end of the day, we can't point the finger at the crackers or the white man or all the other stupid labels that are put upon our fellow human beings, okay? Just because somebody calls me a nigger, I'm not going to call them a cracker, or I'm not going to call them out of their name because I know I'm not a nigger. That's one. Even if I told them the origin of the word nigger was because a white porter couldn't pronounce Niger correctly.
Right, exactly.
He was only educated enough to know that Niger, that G goes good. So Nigerians became niggers while they entered the port. I am not playing that game. I am going to the House of Representatives to be a valued voice of my constituents and the people of this country. I've already demonstrated as a private citizen who've only been home 5 years. I have demonstrated that I am a champion for advocacy, for social justice. I am not only about small business, I'm about all business, especially when it comes to my people. I am about secure borders because it only makes sense. We can't keep letting these strangers into our house. If you feel that strong about immigration, let them into your house. Let me tell you something. I had a cousin I let into my house. A lot of people been there. He was claiming that couch. When once me and my lady used to sit on that couch, we had a little routine. Broke that routine. Oh, I used to drink my orange juice. Was that little bit of orange juice left? I know I can count on it like 3 o'clock in the morning on my way to the bathroom or something. You know, look, orange juice gone. And that's what's happening right now. We have to have a responsible system that not only addresses criminal justice reform, it addresses immigration reform, infrastructure reform. And now what's the equalizing word here is reform. To reform means to bring back together. You can't bring back together if we're all separated. So there's never going to be a reform as long as we keep saying, I hate you, blue, and red is dead. You know, we can't keep doing that, especially when we have the most antagonizing person who has ever run for any office as the front runner calling shots, and he's been accused and found guilty of rape and a bunch of other heinous charges. I tell anybody that's a Republican, if he can't take your daughter to the prom as a chaperone, you can't bring him home.
Mm.
If drunk Uncle Trump can't, if you won't invite him to your barbecue and allow him to spend time talking to your women folk in your family by himself, he shouldn't earn your vote. I don't care what you say. Nobody in their right mind would leave that man alone with any woman or man for that matter, because he's vicious.
Very.
That's why I personally call the GOP the gangsters of politics.
I mean, that's exactly right. I mean, the 14th Amendment says that no president, former or current, can incite an insurrection, and they're leaning towards letting him be on all the ballots. Like that wouldn't happen with any other president. I mean, look, Clinton got impeached for having sex. You know what I'm saying? And so
And
it's
rightly so. Rightly so. Imagine, ask Hillary what she thinks about it.
right.
Right
Mhm.
is right. When you get into this place, see, I can speak because I was one of the worst. I was one of the worst. I had a life expectancy of a milk carton. And it was through incarceration that I had introspection. Now, you know what I say? It should be mandatory for a politician to do at least 1 year in prison
Prison.
before they can run for office. Then they'll get to see the consequences of the decisions that they make. Because Congress enacts law, they draft law and bring law, which is supposed to be the voice of the people, the wants and cares of the people. They bring that to the table, and then the executive branch signs it. The judicial branch interprets it if it comes into question. Now we have 3 branches of government that the founding fathers, the way this was set up was that these 3 branches of government were supposed to be checks and balances against each other so that no one branch can become dominant.
Dominant. Hmm.
Now we have an entire half of the House taking marching orders from a former president who is now a private citizen. One, they wouldn't be able to even do that under law if he was the president, because the executive branch does not oversee Congress. Congress was intended to be an oversight of the executive branch. Read the charter. Congress shall not enact any law. That's the first words of the First Amendment.
It is.
Congress does not govern. That's why even with the candidates that will be on the podium with me, I'm letting it be known that I'm going to do a job for the American people and my constituents. Wilks works. I've proven Wilks works. We have made economic opportunities a reality for 80 million people through the lawsuits that we did at the SBA and the USDA. Now, every person that has ever been incarcerated and those soon to be released can open up a convenience store or a grocery store or a fruit stand in their own neighborhood, instead of somebody from a foreign country coming to their neighborhood. And I have nothing wrong with immigrants coming to this country and living the American dream and opening up a business. Let the indigenous entrepreneurs get a chance. We owe it to them. There's people that are already here, born here, from here, that need these opportunities, but they lack it because of lack of financial literacy, lack of support from municipalities, and an overbearing, bougie Black business community who looks down upon burgeoning entrepreneurs who didn't go to college. I didn't go to college, but I'm one of the most successful Black businessmen in my area, I went to prison. And I have done more in less than 5 years than most people been home all their life.
Oh,
But you know what? I didn't do it by myself. I did it with the help of my community. I did it with the help of correctional officers that allowed me to do one thing. Can I just go over there and grab this book from him? Yeah, go right ahead. Just the simple act of go right ahead allowed me to get a book that in macroeconomics during lockdown, I was able to get a book on macroeconomics. And during our entire lockdown, I mastered that book. I said, you know what? I can't wait to go home and apply this knowledge.
Knowledge is
And
key.
and that's the name of my program, by the way. Knowledge empowers you. My nonprofit program, Key, was intended to not only be a workforce and entrepreneurial development program. I became the first participant. So what I've been doing for the past 5 years has been with the sole purpose of becoming a template, a business model, a guidepost for those returning citizens and for those who are already home, because it's important for us to have somebody to look at instead of looking at Scarface
Mhm.
or Nino Brown
Mhm.
or any of the other iconic characters that when I was in my early stages of entrepreneurship and going out into the world, these were the only businessmen that I saw. I didn't see Bill Gates because let's be for real, he's not. I didn't see a Jeff Bezos. I didn't see a Elon Musk in my neighborhood. I saw Raheem down the block and
Right.
Supreme, you know? And this is the same thing kids are going through today. Their reality stops at their phone.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in to this snippet from Blacklight Mass Incarceration Show. If you enjoy this segment, you're in for a treat with our full-length episodes. Don't miss out on the insightful discussion and thought-provoking content we bring your way. Subscribe, hit the like button, and click the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest releases. For more in-depth conversation on pressing issues, join us on the Blacklight Mass Incarceration Show, hosted by me, one and only Cierra Cobb. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to having you as a part of our community. Until the next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember your voice matters. See you on the next episode.